It's because they've had the promptings of the Spirit to tell you, no, I don't feel good about it. Follow the counsel and advice of your parents. You'll never go wrong by doing it. Now, I can cite you several other experiences just like this, but I cite you that one pertaining to Uncle Ray. Another faith-promoting experiences, and we had many of them while we were in Canada, because there we planted our grain, and we depended on the larger water. It was on a dry farm. We didn't get any rain, we didn't get any crops. And your Grandpa Pratt here came from an irrigated country down in southern Utah. And I'd seen irrigation all my life. And my first experience was I planted some flax up there, which is a good paying crop. And
make linen out of it.
And they make linen out of flax. Anyway, it didn't rain, and it didn't rain.
Planted that in the North Field.
Yeah.
By Butte,
That's right.
Lake.
That's
Butte
right.
Lake?
Yeah, up there by the lake. And this quarter section that I planted was surrounded by a lake all the way around it. And I could reach that with an irrigation by a pumping system. And so I purchased a pumping system. I went out and I bought irrigation pipe. And I took one of my big tractors and I put it over there. And I put it over on this, next to this lake, and I run the sprinklers out there and I got them started. And I can remember the bishop coming to me and he said, Brother Pratt, we're going to have rain. You don't have faith enough. He says, if you just wait, we're going to get rain. You're not going to need that system. And I said, well, I'll tell you, this Lord has got the natural resources sitting right there at the side of it. And I said, He expects us to do all in our power to instigate things ourselves. That's the attitude I took. I says, we got to use some initiative ourselves. So I went over and I started this pumping system going, and I made the first change. And I went back to make the second change, and about the time I made the second change, it had started to sprinkle, and the whole ward was fasting and praying for rain. You know, they were all farmers. They were all farmers. And that rained so hard, I couldn't hardly get over to shut my tractor off to turn that water system off. That's how hard it rained. And you know, I never turned that sprinkling system on again or never used it again. And so they always got after me and said, well, you don't have enough faith. You've got to exercise more faith. And I thought about that a lot. Another time, and I think we mentioned it to you, but I'm going to mention it to you again because maybe some of you don't remember it. We was out on the farm and a big hailstorm come up. And hailstorms was really coming down, and they're big. They're like golf balls. They're not just little tiny ones. They were big ones. And they were just really pounding. We gathered everybody together and we said, let's go in and have a word of prayer and see if we can pray to our Heavenly Father to stop this hail, that our crops might be saved and that we'll have a harvest. I said, if we don't, we won't have any harvest. We went in and we knelt down. About the time we knelt down, there's a big old hail. A couple of hails hit those glass windows and scattered glass all over us while we were kneeling there on the porch. And after we got through praying to our Heavenly Father to stop that hail, we said, Heavenly Father, with the power of the Holy Melchizedek priesthood, will you spare our crops? And it was just like somebody turning off a tap, like that. That hailstorm stopped immediately. Just stopped, and it turned into a nice, gentle rain, just a fine rain. Another time, very similar to that, your grandma said, my time's up, but I want to tell you one more, and I'm going to quit. It was also a big hailstorm. We was in the state priesthood meeting. Hailstorm come up. The state president got up in priesthood meeting, stopped the speaker, and said, "Pardon me, but Brother May, will you get up?" And he was a member of the High Council. Said, "Will you be the mouthpiece for this body of priesthood holders and pray that that hailstorm will cease, that our crops might be spared?" Brother May got up and he had many more and said, "By the power of the Holy Melchizedek priesthood, which we as a body unitedly hold, pray that you'll stop this hailstorm, that our crops might be spared." He had many more and said amen, till that thing just shut off like somebody had closed the damper on the fireplace. It just shut right off. No more hail. And the crops up to that building had about 18 inches of hail in some places and just wiped everything clean. There were absolutely no crops up to the steakhouse where we had that meeting.
Those crooks Mormons at one time.
No, no.
And I want you to know that your grandpa knows that our Heavenly Father hears and He answers prayers. And I want you to listen to the counsel of your parents. And when they ask you to do something that you don't want to do, and you say, "Cameron, if your dad says, I don't want you to take the car tonight," and you say, "Well, why?" And he says, "Son, I don't know why, but I don't want you to take it tonight. I don't feel good about it." He's prompted by the Spirit telling you that maybe something will happen if you take that car. And I know that our Redeemer lives. And it's been a pleasure for your grandpa and an honor to be with you. Out of my posterity, I want you to live up to the name in which you bear, and always remember who you are. Be an example for good in the people you come in contact with always. And I say these things in the worthy name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Very lucky to have the parents we have. And if the Lord judges us and remembers the way they remember our childhood, we'll probably all make it through the pearly gates.
What?
Because we didn't have any fighting or quarreling.
Oh, sure.
Lisa, he went like this, Uncle Brent. Brent, do you have any words of wisdom for this group?
About the time that you were up on camera.
What are you doing? Are you taping?
I think we're losing him, but I can't remember.
Do it the next time.
I will.
Were you going to give us any counsel?
Next to just follow the example of your parents. Grandpa and Grandma Pratt. I will say this, that Grandpa and Grandma Pratt have relied upon the Lord and have taught their children to rely upon the Lord and to look to the Lord and to give the Lord credit for the things that He does. And I can honestly say that there wasn't very many days go by that what we didn't have a sure witness of some kind that the Lord was with us and that He was watching over us and helping us, because there are literally hundreds of stories that can be told about how the Lord has answered our prayers and how we've been watched over and protected by the Lord. And it's my hope that Mom and Dad, that you'll take the time to write these things down and leave them for us so that we can read them and cherish them and have them in our family forever. And not just a couple of pages, a major, as much as you can remember about what happened.
Marilyn will cut it down to a 40.
Well, I would like to have an unabridged.
That's what I told your mom. I said, we could write a book of faith-promoting stories, just like the one I told about the 2 hailstorms. We could write a book of those faith-promoting stories that I've had happen in our lifetime.
The kids are gone, but the big ones are here. Just let me tell you a little bit about this.
Grandpa, did you say, you said that you had that what Bishop asked you to do, but did you say that
That's not what you
night
do
in
with socks.
Wendell? What did the bishop
You
advise
do
you
that-
to do?
that
Not
with
go into
socks.
business with them, or?
Yes, the bishop warned me. I'm sorry I didn't make that more clear. I asked the bishop what he thought about me doing business with those guys. And he said, well, Brother Pratt, I've never known anybody doing business with those guys that they didn't get beat.
So why did you decide
And I
to do it?
said to him, I said, well, I have one of the best attorneys in the state. I own 51% of it. I don't think they're going to be. And I tell you, he said, well, that may be well and good, but he said, I'm just telling you, I've never known anybody that went in business with them that didn't get beat. And that's once I should have listened to the heat of the council and those in authority over me, and I didn't do it. And I was sorry afterwards, but that didn't patch it up.
Did they ever give you anything back or anything?
I just lost $32,000 just like you'd throw it down the drain.
How much was that worth back then?
One shot.
Well, right now it'll buy a Corvette, but back then it was...
Probably would buy several Corvettes at that time.
Corvette's then
Probably
$2,000.
Back in time.
But the point is that I want to point out here too, that no matter if you lose, you don't stay down, you come right back, and you start right back up the ladder. You can do it. It isn't how, if you lose a bunch of stuff, don't sit there and moan and groan and grumble over it. Put as many of your things back together and you climb back up the ladder.
$3,000 now.
That's the important thing.
Why don't you sue them? Take them to people's court.
People, let's go.
And one thing I think that I've learned from Grandpa and Grandma is that, whenever the opportunity has ever presented itself, they've always taken the opportunity to tell the people about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And when we went in the mission field, we knew how to be missionaries because we'd seen the missionary work done in our home. And Grandma is always looking for an opportunity to give a Book of Mormon away and to tell people about the gospel, and so is Grandpa. And people come to them and ask them about the church because of the way they live. And it's a real credit to them.
I'll come back to you.
I'm certainly proud of the heritage and example of doing this.
Okay. The next person to baptize is Dr. Sim. He telephoned to tell me to invite him on, and he said, well, God bless you. Well, God bless you. And I said, well, thanks a lot, George. And then he said, you have to work out this time. I said, no, I promised myself I wouldn't bug you. He said, I can't spell bug that, and we don't George. And I think it's fine.
I told him I'd come back out and baptize him when he got ready.
Well, maybe we better have a closing song and then we'll have some popcorn. We'll sing Love It Home. Okay, Grandpa, got one more song.
Let me tell you,
Hey, everybody be quiet.
Can I tell you one more thing? When your grandpa first started out, always accept the jobs in the church. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all else shall be added unto her. Now your grandpa hasn't always followed that rule, but I want you to know that the Lord had a way of whipping me in line because I had a goal that I wanted to make a lot of money. And I did pretty well at that goal starting out, and I remember back in it was the early 40s. Your grandpa had 7 portable machines that I was running, portable grinders. And I was doing pretty well, and I had a lot of men working for me. Then I come back in and I told your grandmother, I said, after paying our expenses and stuff, I said, you know, that I'm clearing $100 a day. Now that sounds like peanuts to you guys today. But back in the 40s, that was a lot of money. In the early 40s, that was a lot of money. Back in 1940, 1941, that was a lot of money. But anyway, the bishop come to me and he said, well, Brother Pratt, we'd like you to teach the adult Sunday, or the gospel doctrine class in Sunday school. And I said, Bishop, I haven't got time. I'm too busy with my business. I said, I'm trying to build a business. And I said, I haven't got time. I'll do well to be a home teacher. Or then they called it ward teacher. And I was a lousy ward teacher. I used to go the last day of the month. Daddy. And anyway, so let me tell you what happened to your grandpa. Right after I turned the bishop down, I had a fire. And I had a machine that cost me a little over $4,000. And I'd been debating, I'd been shopping for insurance to cover this machine with insurance. I didn't have any insurance on that machine, and that machine burned up that night. And I lost a truck in that fire too. And about 1,000 ton of hay caught on fire, and I didn't have any insurance on that either. And yet I was reliable for the whole thing. And I didn't have 10 cents worth of insurance on it. I had contracts to fill. I had to go in and buy me a new machine. It's like paying for a dead horse and a live one too, plus paying for the hay. But I was lucky. This hay was chopped hay in a stack that was chopped. The fire had only penetrated about a half inch into that hay. And what started it on fire, there was a hot piece of metal got in that and flipped out the back end of my machine. And after we was home, boy, I got a call from the fire department, or I got a call from somebody saying, your machines are on fire, and it was about 10 miles out to my machine. I was the first one there. I beat the fire department and everybody else there. And when I saw it, I was sick. There I was, a young kid, you might say, just starting out in business. I was about 22 years old. And there it was all going up in smoke. And I felt really bad. But I had lots of time. I went to the bishop after that, and I said, Bishop, if you want me to teach that Sunday school class, I've got a lot of time now. I can teach it. That happened to me twice. And the patriarch down there saw me and he said, Brother Pratt, you do the Lord's work and put His work first. And I promise you, if you'll do that, you'll prosper among the people, but always put the Lord's work first. And he says, you'll prosper among the people, you'll have your home, it'll be paid for in a very short time. And when we was in Idaho, he told us to stay there and do it. I was going to return home and go back to, after we'd had a fire, our second fire up there, a big fire, I was going back to Delta and farm that old farm I've got. And he says, the Lord doesn't want you there. He wants you to stay there and baptize those people. And I said to your grandma, okay, let's get out and find these people, get them baptized so we can get out of here. And we did nothing except missionary work for 30 days. I ordered some new machinery. We replaced the machinery and the 2 trucks I'd lost in the fire, and we went at it again. For the second time we come back and made it come back in our business. And I did that. And since then, I've always put the Lord's work first, and it's paid off. And when I had a call to be bishop, I wondered whether I had the time that I could accept the call. And these other thoughts flashed back through my mind. I accepted that call, and I prospered among the people. And I'm sure you guys will. And I tell each one of my sons, first the kingdom of heaven first. Put His work first, the Lord's work first, and He'll bless you. I promise you.
That was your big Leo said.
I feel sure.
See, my grandmother, she always says charity never fails. She was always like that. Sorry.
Okay.
Sister embarrassing?
No problem. Okay.
I wonder why she picked that one.
Can you lead us in a song, Love at Home, and then we'll...
There's love
Everybody be quiet, we're gonna have a praise and prayer.
My dear Heavenly Father, we're so thankful that we can all come over to the Pratts tonight and hear Grandma and Grandpa's stories about when they were younger. And please bless that this food we're about to eat will be nourishing and strengthening our bodies. And please bless when the time comes we can go home in safety. And please bless that tomorrow morning Grandma and Grandpa can fly back to Canada with in safety. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Eat your popcorn on the linoleum.
How long you have that?
My Reeboks are coming out. You like the style she's on?
He got 10 years ago.
I'm proud of her.
I got these.
Look at these geeky shoes.
Hey, these aren't geeky
Just
shoes.
look at, he had to buy Adidas socks with them. I tell him, wait, see, we could have gotten a deal when my dad's working now. Cheaper deal.
I waited 2 weeks for that deal, so I decided
Show me
to
like your shoes
forget
too.
it.
These are designer shoes here.
Hey, Merrily piece cake. Hey.
Can you help me? What? Daddy, help me!
There's David.
I want to say 2 words.
Oh, put your hand down, Josh.
Talk.
I want to say 2 words.
What 2 words do you want?
Grandpa's my favorite grandpa. And Josh is my favorite player.
Okay.
Sean, don't.
Grandpa, how old are you?
Sean, you know what? It's better be.
Pardon me?
Don't fuss it.
I know more about cameras than you
You're
think.
Just a
87.
minute. Hey, you guys, we're recording everything, okay?
Grandpa, you're
Be
87.
Merrily.
87? That's about right.
If you're 87. Could you tell us a little bit about when you were a boy, Grandpa? Where were you born?
Here's my, remember my history. I was born in Montreal Island.
What was your dad's name?
William Swensen.
Where was he born?
He was born in Norway.
How about your mother? What was her name?
Marie Jane Hoganson.
Hoganson was her maiden name?
That's right.
Where was she born?
I'm not sure about that. I think she was.
Was she born in Norway?
I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't remember. I think she was somewhere.
Show me that chocolate.
You're talking about my mother?
Your mother, yeah.
I'm trying to have your mother. She was born in Idaho.
Was she? How many brothers and sisters did you have?
How many women in your family, right?
Please, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
I can move it back and forth.
Focus on that.
Huh?
Just focus on
It is.
Because I knew, had to know I was gonna do this.
Well, we're just checking it out. What were your brothers' names? Who was the oldest in the family?
The oldest brother was Lorenzo.
Lando.
Next one was Clarence.
Who is the second oldest?
Lorenzo and Clarence, then who?
I was trying to think if I had any others. Brothers. I can't think of any more.
How about your sisters?
Billy.
You had Winslow. Winslow was a brother.
Well, I got that one.
Joey.
No, your sister. Edna, Lydia, Bruce, Myra.
Where'd you go to school, Dad?
School in Idaho.
What was your school like?
Grade school,
Yeah,
first grade to I don't remember the first time I went to school or where I was.
What?
I never thought anything about that. I was going to have a bad record here.
Just checking out your memory, buddy.
Killed high.
Where'd you go to college?
Well, I went to college in Utah.
Hold on.
Where'd you get your degree in? You remember what your first job was, Dad?
First job was one after
Check. Scoot. After you got out of college.
thinking about that. I looked out prison temple.
Well, when did you teach school?
Where?
When?
When did I teach school?
Check. Where did you first meet your wife? Look at Jared when you're talking, Dan.
Grandpa.
I remember after all this. Long since I thought about it, I remember that history book.
What was your wife's name?
My name was Dylan.
What was her maiden name?
Dylan Wright.
Where are you married, Dad?
She was married in Roman Temple, I think.
Yeah, go.
Just you. Ask him.
Walk across.
Alright, Grandpa, now I'm gonna ask you a few questions about my mom. Where was my mom born?
What was her name?
My mom, Joyce.
Well, you're taking me back to that.
Andrew, get out of there.
What?
Yeah, Joyce, where was Joyce born?
Santa Maria, California.
Okay, where was the, where were my mom and dad married? Were you there when they were married? Were you there when my mom and dad were married still?
And I can't remember much about it. William and Nellie Pratt,
The Oakland Temple.
Oakland Temple.
And,
I listened, that's over there.
yep.
This is stuff I have. Part of my family history on some of it.
Do you remember any experiences from your mission, Dad?
Grandpa, what steak have you come? What steak?
Jeffrey,
Grandpa, were you born in a hospital or at your house? Where were you born?
I think I was born in the house.
Hey, were your brothers born in the house or in a hospital?
Where do I know they were all born in the house?
Were your kids born in the house or the hospital?
Mike,
Yeah, Joyce.
born in home, see?
They were born at home? You were, Dad? Were you, Dad?
No, I was born in the hospital.
And
Where'd you go on your mission, Dad?
I need that pen.
Okay, Jeff.
Columbus, Ohio.
What, pardon me?
But loud.
Yeah, Akron.
Should stop it. Stop it.
Oh, wait.
Just push that button in the back. That's
What were you
Don't
born
say
on?
before.
What were
In
you?
on this,
What were you born in Papa's name? Papa's name.
my grandma and grandpa's name. My grandpa's name was Christian Holmesen.
And how many grandpa do you have?
My grandma's name was
How many grandmas and grandpa do you have?
my mama's family, Holmesen.
It goes there in front of you.
How many grandpas and grandmas did you have?
Grandma, my daddy's family.
and just move the camera all over.
Two grandpas.
I can see.
Yeah. Yeah. Grandpa and grandma.
Okay. Would any of you like to ask Grandpa anymore?
Keep going.
I'd like to ask Grandpa something.
Wait, just sit down by Grandpa if you want to.
Grandpa,
Well, these sections are, that's family history.
Grandpa,
You're doing fine.
which school did you go to when you were in high school? No, wait. Grandpa, which school did you go in when you were in high school?
Montpelier High School for this.
And I have a question. Where did you go to college?
Logan, Utah.
Where did you go on your mission?
One at a time. Jeffrey, ask a
Columbus,
question.
Ohio.
Okay.
Jefferson.
What school did you go to when you were in kindergarten?
Montpelier.
What was your school called when you were in kindergarten? What was your school called when you were in kindergarten?
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Montpelier Kindergarten.
These are great schools.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my turn.
Grandpa, where did you live before? Did you live in the United States all your life?
I thought you were going to ask me where I lived before I was born.
Yeah. Where
Grandpa,
did you live
I
in
lived in the United States.
I'm going to tell him something. No, it's my turn.
Wait, I just asked a question. You got a minute?
What are you doing?
He's moving around.
Marilyn, would you please leave me alone?
Hold it.
When did you
on
get
it.
married?
No.
Why?
You have to-
Is it off? No, it's just it's recording.
Can
Well, this time I need to family
Okay.
history.
He's
That's
going.
correct.
Okay. How old are you right now?
I'm when they're 100 years old.
You're 100? Or you're Leo? You're 100?
97 or 98.
97 or 98? Okay.
He's 87 years old.
He's 90.
87.
You like to tell
He was
you-
born in, let's see,
Okay.
1899.
Dad, we will ask about you this. Dad, how old, what school did you go to when you were in 4th grade?
We're talking to Grandpa right now, Jeffrey.
Okay, Grandpa.
Why don't you ask him about when
Where
Mom
did you
was a
go
little
fishing?
girl?
When Mom was a little girl, what school did she go to?
Well, I don't know. That's what one
Okay,
high school.
Page school? Okay, Grandpa, were you ever forced to went fishing with your dad or your grandfather? Where was it?
Who's that what?
When you first went fishing, where was it?
When you first went fishing.
Yeah, when you first went fishing.
In Montpelier Creek or Bear Lake Canyon. Montpelier Canyon or Bear River.
Okay.
Okay.
When was the last time you went fishing? And what I'm asking.
That'd be hard for me to remember.
Hey,
Sit down, Jeffrey.
I want to ask, come on, but
Is all this going on film and record?
It's recorded, Dad. Would you like, hey, I know, let's see if Grandpa can sing us a song.
when was the last time you went hunting?
Last time I went hunting,
Yeah.
I have to think back a while.
No, where did you hunt? When was the first time you went hunting?
First time I went hunting?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The first time you went hunting?
How old was I or what?
No! When was the first time you went hunting?
How old was I, you mean?
Yes. How old were you when you went hunting?
First
Hey, Dad, could you sing us Oh My Father?
Do you remember the words?
Be real quiet, let's see if Grandpa sing.
Where did
Hey,
you hunt?
hey, let's
How much of it do you want to sing?
well, as much as you can. You guys be quiet while Grandpa sings.
Just say the words.
Oh, he can sing.
I couldn't sing the end now.
Well, say as much as you remember.
I need the song, but
We'll find the song.
Oh, I don't find one. Stop.
Okay, Dad. Sure.
in that high and glorious place, when shall I read thy praise? And behold thy face, in thy holy habitation, did my spirit once reside. In my first primeval child, was I nurtured near thy side.
Mommy!
Trying to swallow my breath.
See?
Okay, keep going, we're waiting. Sure, if you can.
All four verses?
Sure, if you'd like to. Or what's your favorite song, Dad? Hey, Jeff, let Jeff up.
This is one.
Jeff, move.
So I want to see it.
Think about all four verses?
Sure, that'd be great.
For a wise and glorious purpose, thou hast placed me and without the recollection of my former friends and brothers, yet oftentimes a secret something whispers you, a stranger here, and I found that I had wandered on a more exalted spirit. I have learned to call thee Father through thy spirit from on high, and until the key of knowledge was restored, I knew not why. In the heavens art barren still. No, the thought makes reason stir. Truth is reason, truth eternal. Help me I on my redemption. Can you hear a word like that? Sing loud enough.
Just sing as loud as you can.
When I leave this frail existence, when I lay this mortal body, Father, Mother, may I meet you in your courts on high. Then at length, when I've accomplished all you sent me forth to do, with your new true approbation, let me come and dwell with you.
That was very good. What's one of your other plays?
That's the first music that was written to that area. Not on the next side there, that's a different time and emphasis.
Mommy, you're that cheap. Mommy.
Did you used to sing with the men's choir there in the Bay Area?
Mommy.
Oh, I sang a
I know, Mommy. Mommy.
state choir.
You go down,
I've
Mommy.
been singing
No.
fourth choir. And remember all this long ago.
How long did you work with Josh?
Joshy and Andrew, no.
Oh, I don't think so. How long did you work in the temple, Dad?
How long did I work in the temple? I don't have the notion of how
Was it from 1964 to 1985?
I'm between there at least.
Did you enjoy working in the temple?
Very much. I haven't reviewed my family history for so long. I think I forgot it.
Well, that's why we wanted to get it on tape, Dad, so,
Was Grandpa in the United States during the 1920s?
yeah.
Do you remember the Great Depression?
Yeah.
What was it like back then?
Oh, it's hard to buy things.
Were you on your mission during the Depression, Dad? How old were you when you went out? 21, 20?
Open up the base, no, I don't. I come up in the wrong. 1820 somewhere.
What were the prices like back then?
Oh,